UFC 319, Dricus du Plessis taking on Khamzat Chimaev. This card is super dope, I won't lie. There's a lot of really sick fights on here. I'm excited. I got some underdog picks for you. Get straight into it. We're going to do a full card prediction and breakdown. Adirus versus Joseph Morales. Adirus is really powerful, especially for flyweight. He has a lot of finishing potential, which a lot of times you don't see in 125 pounders. Back-to-back nasty finishes. He's undefeated, I believe. I believe he's 9-0, 10-0, something like that. Joseph Morales I don't think that he's very good. I've seen some film. He was in the UFC a while back. He went 1-2, won his debut, and then he fought Davison Figueiredo and got smashed, and then he lost a split decision to some can. He didn't show me anything impressive in his film, and taking on a guy who seems to be actually he gives me very much low-ranked 125er potential from just by looking at him. He's very technically sound. He has really heavy hands, like I said. So I think that this is night and day, honestly. I'm taking Adirus. I think that he gets it done by decision. I could say KO here, but because it is they're 125 pounders, I don't expect any crazy finish here. So I'll take Adirus. I'll take him by 30-27 decision, maybe 29-28, because these flyweights do get scrappy at times, but that's what we'll go with. After that, Karine Silva versus Dione Barbosa. Dione Barbosa is very manly looking. I mean, she's in better shape than me. She hasn't really fought anybody of good competition, really, other than Miranda Maverick, and she lost. The more that I think about this, actually, the more that I think about this, the more that I'm not very confident with my pick. You know what? I'm going to take Karine Silva. I do think Karine Silva does have better jiu-jitsu. I think she's way better on the ground. So I'm hoping that from a stylistic standpoint, she goes to where she is good and she dominates there on the ground. Oh man, but Dione Barbosa's finishing, it's always comes on the ground, I feel like. This fight's impossible. I'm taking Karine Silva and I'm moving on. I don't care. Next up, we've got Nursultan Rousobov versus Bryan Battle. People who know me and people who watch this channel know that I hate Bryan Battle. I think he is a terrorist maybe. I won't even say anything else because I'm a very big Randy Brown fan. He out-Marab, essentially, holding on the fence. He Mario Batista'd Randy Brown. I'm taking Nursultan Rousobov. The way that Bryan Battle won his last fight against Randy Brown, he out-physicaled Randy Brown, and he kind of just held him up against the fence the whole time. Because he was kind of the thicker, stronger, more well-planted dude in that fight. And Nursultan Rousobov, if I remember correctly, he's like 6'5" or 6'6". Bryan Battle's not going to be able to weigh down on him in the clinch. I think Nursultan Rousobov is going to be able to. First of all, he's very experienced. And he is also very dirty. He's shown that before. He'll kick you in the nuts and keep punching you, try and poke you in the eyes. Like, he's a total prick. Neither of these guys, I hate both of these guys, to be completely honest, but Nursultan Rousobov is very powerful, especially when he is moving forward. So I think when Bryan Battle realizes that he's not going to be able to out-physical Rousobov and push him up against the cage and land knees to the body and knees to the thigh, once he realizes he can't do that, I think he's going to start to move backwards, try and play kind of a tit-for-tat game, which when you do that with Rousobov, he's going to connect with a huge straight down the pipe. He's a straight punch merchant, kind of, but it's the way it goes, and he lands nasty knees, especially when he's moving forward. So I'm taking Nursultan Rousobov. I think he gets it done. I put Rousobov by late TKO. Next up, we've got, oh man, this fight is impossible. Edson Barbosa versus Drakkar Klose. I'm taking Edson Barbosa. The thing that worries me about Edson Barbosa is the weight cut, especially at 145. He really scares me. He cuts so much weight and he gets so drained. But this is at 155. Drakkar Klose has a serious problem. When he hurts people, he pulls like an Alex Pereira and his hands drop and he starts attacking. And he always seems to, when he hurts somebody, he immediately gets hurt by something coming back right away. I think that Edson Barbosa is the type to do something like that. I mean, we saw it against Billy Quarantillo. Billy Quarantillo was having a lot of success maybe not a lot of success, but he was having success moving forward, winning in the clinches, in the grappling exchanges. And then Edson Barbosa landed a flush knee up the middle and colded him. So I think he is the type to turn the tide like that, where he lands a wheel kick, he lands a flying knee, he lands a switch kick to the liver. Stuff like that, I think, is what's gonna be the difference maker in a matchup where it's just two old heads. And Drakkar Klose has shown me that he doesn't really know how to finish a fight, it seems. It seems that he's always just fumbling finishes, or he's just getting brutally finished. I'll take Edson Barbosa. Not very confident about it because he's literally 40 years old, but we had to pick somebody, you know? Next up, Alexander Hernandez versus Chase Hooper. I'm taking Alexander Hernandez. Whoa. I'm taking Chase Hooper. I'm taking Chase Hooper. Chase Hooper, I think, is... Obviously, people are going to point to the grappling. His striking has gotten good. People kind of shake their head at the fact that he didn't finish Jim Miller. I think guys like Jim Miller are very, very hard to finish on the ground, especially when it is just an all-out grappling match. I think it's going to be really tough for you to actually cinch something in and submit him. But Chase Hooper is really long for the division. He's 6'1". His limbs are crazy long. That's why his jiu-jitsu is so good. And Alexander Hernandez is kind of this big, just tiny little ball of muscle. He's very, very fast twitch, and he kind of he slows down a lot as the fight goes. And we saw that. I mean, he's who were his last two fights? It was like Austin Hubbard. What was another one? Kurt Hollabaugh was recently. Damon Jackson, Bill Algeo. He's fighting these like all these old heads, and I'm pretty sure in those 4 fights I mentioned, he split them. If I went and looked at his resume, I guarantee you he lost 2 of those fights. I don't know who they were. I know he barely beat Austin Hubbard. I think he beat Kurt Hollabaugh. That was the most recent one, if I remember correctly. Like, he's fighting these old guys, and he's not doing too hot. And I think Chase Hooper knows how to control grappling and control positions very, very well. And he finds sweeps very, very well. So I'm taking Chase Hooper. I feel like this is kind of a no-brainer. I've only seen a few people go with Alexander Hernandez, but I don't trust the gas tank of Alexander Hernandez. I think that the way that these guys are built, it favors Chase Hooper, I think, especially with the styles of how they fight too. So I'm taking Chase Hooper. I have him by round 2 or 3 submission. We'll go with that. I think Alexander Hernandez is going to gas a little bit. After that, we've got Lupe Godinez versus Jessica Andrade. Jessica Andrade fell off, man, and I can't trust her or him to win a fight anymore. I just can't do it. She's older now. I mean, it seems like she's dropping all sorts of different fights. And Lupe Godinez is she's a very talented grappler, which we've seen recently. Jessica Andrade does not do well in those instances, especially later in her career now. Against Natalia Silva, Jasmine Jastovicius basically did whatever she wanted once she introduced the grappling into the fight. Against, Jesus Christ, what's her name? The American, Tatiana Suarez. She got choked out by her too. I expect Lupe Godinez to control the grappling from start to finish in this. I do think that her striking, she's very easily hit. She gets up on the feet. It seems that girls are able to establish a jab on her way easier than other people, which is kind of weird. I don't know why that happens. She just her reaction time is just not very good. She kind of just stands there and takes jabs to the face the whole fight. But her grappling is very, very good, and her entries are also very, very good. I think Lupe Godinez wins this. I think she wins 29-28. I think she's going to lose one of the rounds that maybe she can't get any grappling off, and Andrade is able to sprawl up against the fence, spin off, land some good shots, and maybe she wins a round. I think Lupe wins this one 29-28. Moving on from that, we've got GM3 versus Mikhail Oleksiejczuk. Another one that I think is kind of a no-brainer. I'm taking Mikhail Oleksiejczuk. He's training with the Fighting Nerds now. I think that Mikhail Oleksiejczuk is really good. And you look at his last 3 losses, they're to very, very good competition. Shara Magomedov, Kevin Holland, Kel Pajeda. Even before that, it was Kyle Bahalio. He's fighting very, very good competition, and I just don't think GM3 is of that level. And I don't trust GM3's chin. His head seems to get spun around way too often. And Mikhail Oleksiejczuk is one of the most deceivingly powerful people in the entire division. So I'm taking Mikhail Oleksiejczuk. I think he wins by KO. I've got him by first or second round TKO, or KO. I'm not even gonna break this down unless we get to the third round. If we get to the third round and GM3 starts putting some grappling on him, then who knows? We've got Mikhail Alexeychuk by first or second round TKO. Next up, we've got Bisanger Susurkayev versus Eric Nolan. Bisanger Susurkayev he fought on the Contender Series this Tuesday, 2 days ago. I'm not kidding. And he had basically the only entertaining fight on the entire night. He had a nasty front kick to the body that flattened his opponent. He looks really good. To be fair, it is Dana White. It's Contender Series competition, so who knows? But from what I've seen, Eric Nolan is not good. He's fought guys who suck. Like, he's fought guys who are 7-5, 4-4, 7-8, and it's not even in that good of a promotion. He's in the cage. He's in the Fury Fighting Championship or whatever. It's just a not good competition, and he's 8-3. You know, which looks like a solid record until you realize who it is that he's actually fighting. Susurkayev is the opposite of that. To be fair, he has fought one or two cans at the very beginning of his career, but the other guys they're like 7-1, 8-0, 4-1, 5-1, and he's very, very talented on the feet. He sets up feints very well. He works off of them very well. So I'm taking I'm gonna mess this guy's name up if I don't read it all off the screen. Bisanger Susurkayev. I'm taking him by first or second round TKO. Next up, we've got Tim Elliott versus Kaya Sakura. What the hell happened to Tim Elliott? You know, like, what is going on with this guy? He looks like he's been like doing crystal meth on Skid Row for the past year. I'm taking Kaya Sakura. Do I have to explain myself? Tim Elliott hasn't been here. The last time he fought was December 9th of 2023. Against Sumaderji, who sucks. Kaya Sakura, I think, is really, really good. I think he's really talented. I think that he always seems to find that one big shot that you're not expecting. That seems to be the case. He always catches a guy really, really bad, and Tim Elliott poses a lot of openings when he does fight. So I think Kaya Sakura is going to get a brutal first-round TKO here. He even had success when he fought Pantoja. I thought that when he landed that flying knee, I was like, oh my god, that might knock him out. And it didn't, because Pantoja's a freak. I have Sakura by first-round brutal TKO. I've had it for a while, ever since this fight got booked, so I'm not even going to explain myself further. Moving on from that. Jared Cannonier versus Michael Venom Page. I'm taking Michael Venom Page. I made the mistake of taking Charles Magomedov over Michael Venom Page last time because I am a complete retard. Jared Cannonier isn't the type to just this late in his career start to work a matchup more than... It's hard to describe. Like, I don't think that Jared Cannonier is the type to now all of a sudden be very, very wrestle and grapple heavy, which would be the idea here, you would think. I don't think he's going to do that, though. I think that Michael Venom Page is kind of just going to spark him at range the whole time. I think it's going to be the only way that you really get to Michael Venom Page is by heavily grappling him like Ian Gary did. And even when Ian Gary was grappling him, Michael Venom Page did have a very, very good clue of where to be and where weight distribution should be and where to roll, where to maybe sprawl. He had good ideas and you could tell he had good intentions of where he needed to be. But I think Ian Gary is just that good, unfortunately. So even if Jared Cannonier does grapple, I don't think that he's going to be able to just wet blanket Michael Venom Page and hold him down like Ian Gary did. I don't think that Jared Cannonier is of that level. And then when it comes to the feet, I think everyone's kind of in agreement. Michael Venom Page is too quick in his front and back movement that you're just not going to be able to hit him. So, and he's going to be able to hit you because of that just snake, you know, the venom, hence the name. The speed that he's able to just strike you really bad. I think he's going to be able to do that all night, and I have him winning a 30-27 decision. Moving on from that, Carlos Protes versus Jeff Neal. I'm taking Carlos Protes. Carlos Protes is a straight punch merchant. So is Jeff Neal. Straight down the pipe. Actually, that's not true. Jeff Neal will throw a lot of hooks. He throws a lot of mean uppercuts, too. And he'll mix in high kicks and stuff like that, too. But Carlos Protes, I think his footwork is a little bit better. I worry that his patience is going to get the best of him again, which was the case against Ian Gary. He kind of just waited way too long to try and get his shots off. But in terms of like the footwork, he gets outside foot position so well, especially in like split stances. He's able to land that left hand very, very well. And especially when he's moving forward, Jeff Neal will move forward, but because he's so up tall, I think that with Carlos Protes reaching out with his long lead arm, he's going to get Jeff Neal to move backwards at some point, and he's going to make a read where Jeff Neal is going to try and fire something, and he's going to get the outside foot position, step off, and bang a left hand, and it's going to put him out, I think. So I have Carlos Protes. I have him winning this by first or second round TKO. I put second round. Just because I think it's going to take a little while for him to pick up on maybe a read or two that Jeff Neal doesn't realize is going to get him in trouble, and then he's going to bang a left hand really bad. So this is a close fight though, dude. This is my fight of the night. This is my favorite fight other than the main event, obviously. I'll take Carlos Protes. I like both of these guys. I think this is going to be a war. I think this has a potential to be fight of the night. So moving on from that. Co-main event, Aaron Pico versus Lerone Murphy. I'm taking Lerone Murphy. I said this in my video that I posted actually today. You can go check that out if you want. It'll pop up in this corner right here. I have to take Lerone Murphy. I think he's still an underdog. At one point, he was a 3-1 underdog to Aaron Pico. Lerone Murphy has fought such good competition, and he's basically had no resistance other than getting dropped by Danny Ige, which a lot of people hold value to. A lot of people think that that's, it was a big deal at the time. Look at all these other guys. I mean, everybody else. I mean, you look at Izzy at the beginning of his reign. Kelvin Gastelum was tuning him up. Ilya Topuria got head kicked by Jai Herbert. Like guys get, not to say that, and obviously I'm not saying that Lerone Murphy is of that level. Guys get clipped. It's the nature of the sport. Lerone Murphy has been in there with really good competition, most notably Josh Emmett. Josh Emmett is very, very good, and he did whatever the hell he wanted. He basically had like a Yusuf Zalal performance where he was just pinging him at range, doing whatever the he wanted. And that's what he did with Danny Ige too. He did the same thing. Oh, you dropped me in the first round? All right, I just won't do that again. And I'm going to chew your leg up. I'm going to jab you at range. I'm going to f up your body. And you're not going to be able to touch me because I'm going to be on the outside the whole time. And that, I think, plays into Lerone Murphy's hands perfectly again with this fight. Because Aaron Pico, he does have nasty highlights. For one, and another thing, I'm sorry, before I continue saying what I was saying, it's a Bellator guy. I can't trust a Bellator guy to win a fight, bro. I won't pick a Bellator fighter making their debut to win until they win one. I will sacrifice missing a pick in order for that to happen. Because I can't do it. I can't pick these guys to win fights. I think Lerone Murphy has another performance where we realize, wow, he is boring, but he is technical as all hell. And he's really, really good. I do like Aaron Pico. I think he's good for the sport. I'm glad that we have him. But is he of the level of Lerone Murphy, an undefeated, unbeaten Lerone Murphy? No, I don't think so. And I think that underdog money on Lerone Murphy here is ridiculous. Yeah. And I think there is a very, very good chance too, by the way, that Lerone Murphy catches him with a nasty uppercut or a nasty knee coming in. Aaron Pico likes to clash in. He likes to crash in with double legs or kind of big bursts to get in close. I think that plays into Lerone Murphy's hands even better. Like nothing stylistically to me points to the fact that Lerone Murphy's going to get finished because I think he's really smart and he realizes when he's going to be in danger and when he isn't. But there is the chance, there is the chance that Aaron Pico lands a bomb like Danny Ige did. And I think if he lands one of those bombs like Danny Ige did, I think he will finish it, which would be great. I would much rather Aaron Pico win this fight. I'll be honest with you. I would way rather Aaron Pico win this fight. But I don't think it's going to happen. And I can't trust Bellator guys, man. So I'm taking Aaron Pico. I'm taking Aaron Pico. I'm taking Lerone Murphy, and I won't pick a Bellator guy to win until they win. Dricus du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev. Nobody said anything about dogs, bro. Chill out. I'm taking Dricus. This is going to sound really stupid. I think Dricus is really smart. I think he's really, really smart. And I think that he understands you're not going to stop Khamzat from wrestling in round one. You're not going to be able to stop him. You're not going to be able to stop the fact that he's going to take you down. you're not going to be able to stop him. Not going to be able to stop the fact that he gets a body lock. You're not going to stop the fact that he's going to have your back. It's going to happen. I think that Dricus is smart enough to realize I don't need to be in here to avoid that or survive that. I'm in here to fight this guy. I'm in here to, you want to wrestle? Let's do it. You're going to get the better of me in a lot of these exchanges. But at some point, I might shoot a takedown on you. And I might have a good entry. And I might have you up against the fence. And you're not going to like that. And we saw when Gilbert Burns put Khamzat in those situations, his gas tank went. And I think Dricus is maybe not even smart enough is the word. Maybe stupid enough to just be like, yeah, let's wrestle. Let's wrestle for position. Let's do it. That he's going to put Khamzat in situations where he's never been before. And I think that Dricus is going to get the better of him. Nobody said anything about dogs, bro. Chill out. I'm taking Dricus du Plessis. I have him by round 4 TKO. I think that he's going to land a bomb at some point. One of those goofy overhands. You know, I mean, I'm like starting to get kind of sick of the memes of Dricus by drawing a hole in the ground and Khamzat falling into it. Dricus by falling piano. I'm getting sick of that because I think Dricus is really, really good. I think that he doesn't get credit for the way that he is. Like in the Izzy fight, when Izzy would throw or feint a leg kick, most of the time against all his other opponents, they would sit back and they'd go to check the kick, they'd go to step out, and they'd reset. Dricus didn't give a f***. He would feint the leg kick or he would throw the leg kick, and Dricus would go, all right, well, here's 4 overhands for you. Not going to happen. I'm not going to let you reset on me and start to dictate the pace of this fight. I'm going to throw my temple at your hip while I throw an overhand. And it's probably not going to land, but it's going to knock you off balance. And now I'm in control of the pace of this fight. He's going to be able to do stuff like that to Khamzat. And I think Khamzat's going to get really tired and he's going to get overwhelmed and swarmed and go out in the 4th round. And you know what the worst part about this is? I could totally be wrong. Like, Khamzat could just go out there and choke him out in the 1st round. And then everyone's going to look at me and I'm going to be the dumbest idiot on planet Earth. But I don't think it goes that way, dude. Even the Whitaker loss, I put an asterisk on it, bro. He was getting dominated. Who doesn't get dominated by Khamzat in round 1? Nobody. Everyone gets dominated by Khamzat in round 1. He rugby tackles you across the cage. He gets a body lock. He takes you down and he gets your back and he dominates you from that position for 5 minutes. That's how it goes. That's how Khamzat fights goes. There's nothing that Dricus can do about that other than don't look to survive, look to fight. The problem that Whitaker had, other than the fact that he had a freak accident and his teeth literally caved in on the weakest rear naked choke attempt I've ever seen, which by the way was just a freak accident that's happened to him in the past, so it wasn't even like Khamzat did it or anything. It was just a freak accident. That's why I put the asterisk on it. But anyways, Whitaker looked to survive. He wasn't looking to fight. He wasn't looking to maybe reverse the position, get up to his knees and shoot a single leg. He wasn't looking to do that, but Dricus will do that, and he won't think twice about it. There's no, maybe if I roll this way, then his weight comes this way, and then I can pull the leg and sweep myself up. No, he's not thinking about that. If the synapses fire and he has an idea, he's gonna do it. I'm taking Dricus du Plessis, dude, and I really want him to win. Dude, I used to hate Dricus. I'm sure as a lot of other people have too. I used to hate this guy so much. I appreciate him now, dude. I don't care either. I don't care. I'll say it proudly. I think Dricus du Plessis is way better than people give him credit for, and I think he's gonna win. And it's going to be and still. Round 4 TKO. This event is sick. I'm really, really stoked. Matchmakers actually did their job for once because a lot of these fights actually have like close odds, which I feel like hasn't happened in months. Fight of the year contender, possibly incoming. So we'll see, but I appreciate you. Like and subscribe. I got videos coming out all the time. So appreciate you. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.